In Search of the Miraculous by P.D. Ouspensky, Chapter 8. Conscience is again a term that needs explanation. In ordinary life, the concept conscience is taken too simply, as if we had a conscience. Actually, the concept conscience in the sphere of the emotions is equivalent to the concept consciousness in the sphere of the intellect. And as we have no consciousness, we have no conscience. Consciousness is a state in which a man knows all at once everything that he in general knows, and in which he can see how little he does know and how many contradictions there are in what he knows. Conscience is a state in which a man feels all at once everything that he in general feels or can feel, and as everyone within him as everyone has within him thousands of contradictory feelings which vary from a deeply hidden realization of his own nothingness and fears of all kinds to the most stupid kind of self-conceit, self-confidence, self-satisfaction, and self-praise. To feel all this together would not only be painful, but literally unbearable. If a man whose entire inner world is composed of contradictions were suddenly to feel all these contradictions simultaneously within himself, if he were to feel all at once that he loves everything he hates and hates everything he loves, that he lies when he tells the truth and that he tells the truth when he lies, and if he could feel the shame and the horror of it all, this would be the state which is called conscience. A man cannot live in this state. He must either destroy contradictions or destroy conscience. He cannot destroy conscience, but if he cannot destroy it, he can put it to sleep. That is, he can separate by impenetrable barriers one feeling of self from another, never see them again together, never feel their incompatibility, the absurdity of one existing alongside another. But fortunately for man, that is, for his peace and for his sleep, this state of conscience is very rare. From early childhood, buffers begin to grow and strengthen within him, taking him from the possibility of seeing his inner contradictions, and therefore for him there is no danger whatever of a sudden awakening. Awakening is possible only for those who seek it and want it, for those who are ready to struggle with themselves and to work on themselves for a very long time and very persistently in order to attain it. For this, it is necessary to destroy buffers, that is, to go out there and to meet all those inner sufferings which are connected with the sensations of contradictions. Moreover, the destruction of buffers in itself requires a very long work, and a man must agree to this work, realizing that the result of his work will be every possible discomfort and suffering from the awakening of his conscience. But conscience is the fire which alone can fuse all the powders in the glass retort, which was mentioned before, and create the unity which man lacks in that state in which he begins to study himself. The concept conscience has nothing in common with the concept morality. Conscience is a general and permanent phenomenon. Conscience is the same for all men, and conscience is possible only in the absence of buffers. From the point of view of understanding the different categories of man, we may say that there exists the conscience of a man in whom there are no contradictions. The conscience is not suffering. On the contrary, it is joy of a totally new character, which we are unable to understand. But even a momentary awakening of conscience in a man who has thousands of different eyes is bound to involve suffering. And if these moments of conscience become longer, and if a man does not fear them, but on the contrary cooperates with them, and tries to keep and prolong them, an element of very subtle joy, a foretaste of the future, clear consciousness will gradually enter into these moments. There is nothing general in the concept of morality. Morality consists of buffers. There is no general morality. What is moral in China is immoral in Europe, and what is moral in Europe is immoral in China. What is moral in Petersburg is immoral in the Caucasus, and what is moral in the Caucasus is immoral in Petersburg. What is moral in one class of society is immoral in another, and vice versa. Morality is always and everywhere an artificial phenomenon. It consists of various taboos, that is, restrictions, and various demands, sometimes sensible in their basis, and sometimes having lost all meaning or never having had any meaning, and having been created on a false basis, on a soil of superstition and false fears. Morality consists of buffers, and since buffers are of various kinds, and as the conditions of life in various countries and in various ages among different classes of society vary considerably, so the morality created by them is also very dissimilar and contradictory. A morality common to all does not exist. It is even impossible to say that there exists any general idea of morality. For instance, in Europe, it is said that sometimes that the general morality for Europe is a Christian morality. But, first of all, the idea of Christian morality itself admits of very many different interpretations, and many different crimes have been justified by Christian morality. And, in the second place, modern Europe has very little in common with Christian morality, no matter how we understand this morality. In any case, if Christian morality brought Europe to the war which is now going on, then it would be as well to be as far away as possible from such morality. Many people say that they do not understand the moral side of your teachings, said one of us, and others say that your teaching has no morality at all. Of course not, said G. People are very fond of talking, and this is Gurdjieff saying this now. Of course not, said Gurdjieff. People are very fond of talking about morality, but morality is merely self-suggestion. What is necessary is conscience. We do not teach morality. We teach how to find conscience. People are not pleased when we say this. They say that we have no love, simply because we do not encourage weakness and hypocrisy, but on the contrary take off all masks. He who desires the truth will not speak of love or of Christianity, because he knows how far he is from these. Christian teaching is for Christians, and the Christians are those who live, that is, who do everything according to Christ's precepts. Can they who talk of love and morality live according to Christ's precepts? Of course, they cannot. But there will always be talk of this kind. There will always be people to whom words are more precious than anything else. But this is a true sign. He who speaks like this is an empty man. It is not worth wasting time on him.